Hey everybody, I'm Chris Fafalius, and I'm the producer of Krista Makes a Podcast and the host of the One Hit Thunder podcast.
And I'm Matt Kelly, host of Horror Movie Night and the producer / the head of content for the Geekscape Podcasting Network.
Between the two of us, we have, believe it or not, 25 years of podcasting experience, and we want to help you start your own podcast.
We know podcasting, and we want to share that knowledge with you.
So whether you're new to podcasting or you want some feedback on your currently active podcast, we want to help.
Or perhaps you're just overwhelmed with all of the editing work. Well, we can help you with that also.
You can check out our website at weknowpodcasting.com for more information.
We're excited to help your podcasting dreams become a reality.
We're on edge today.
Why?
Okay, so Carolina, hello.
Hi.
Thanks for coming
Same
on.
girl, same. No problem. What's up? Are we in Jersey? Are we all in Jersey right now?
PA.
We're in PA, right outside of Philly.
PA. What's what? I'm from Jersey originally.
Oh, okay. And you're in Carolina. You're in California now. California.
Yes.
Nice. So you went totally across the United States.
Oh, she did. She did the big trek.
What did you move over there for?
To finish my bachelor's degree in musical theater.
Nice.
I am not doing that anymore, but I am in film. So yeah, and we have a podcast on independent filmmaking. So It's real fun.
Nice.
Yeah. Okay, so you just made the move to Geekscape? Is that true?
Tessa did the grueling work of uploading all of our past seasons and episodes. So it's all there now.
Okay.
Yeah, keep scrolling to get the most latest and greatest, probably better sounding Carolina and Tessa versions. So, it's always experimental when you first start podcasting, and then I think you find your groove. And I'm so scared when people are like, "Yes, we're listening to season 1. We're getting all these great info," and I'm like, "Are you though? Like, do we sound good? Like,
I feel the same way."
Good?
Right.
So I'm always like, "Oh God," but there's some good stuff there. So we like, we put it up, we keep it up.
Yep.
Own it.
With this, I don't think that way. Only because you're a pro at podcasting, Matt. Whereas Bingetown, I went and listened to our first 100 pod the other day, and I was like, it had that weird echo because our gain was fucked up. Like, the content's not bad, but the gain, it's like, we're a little off. We don't have our full groove yet. But yeah, the echo, I'm like, God damn it. If anyone goes back to the beginning to listen to the first episode, it's like, that's not the best representation. All right, I have so many fucking questions. This was crazy for us to watch. First of all, I thought it was the series finale, but there is a season 3 of Succession, by the way. We're talking
Succession.
Yes. Is the season 3 isn't out yet though?
No, but I thought Matt had said it was a series finale, so I was like, "Oh shit!" And then when I saw it was only,
I think he did say series finale.
And then when I saw there was only 2 seasons, I'm like, "There's no way this show got canceled this early." I've been hearing such good things about it. So tell us, one, what the show's about. Give us a little gist, and then 2, why you chose this specific episode.
Sure, absolutely. So Succession, I have my notes out. So it is based on the Roy family. They own the biggest media and entertainment company in the entire world. So they're getting the big bucks. They're loaded. They live in New York. So it's all New England kind of stage for the most part until they're internationally traveling like all the time. Like literally when the family needs a little break, they're on a yacht in Italy, like chilling. So they are rich as fuck. And it kind of all the whole drama occurs when the father decides to step down from his CEO position. And that leaves room for one of the family members to step up to his plate. So that's where the drama begins. That's when you really see everyone's true colors and just the dynamics between everyone. And I just feel like specifically with his one son, Kendall, you really see his character's arc throughout the entire 2 seasons. He kind of transforms in a big way. And I thought they just did an amazing job having you love him, hate him, get mad at him. Yeah, just like, what are you doing, to the point where that last episode captures it all. So the last episode of season 2, that's episode 10. So that very last moment is fucking everything.
It really is.
So I don't know, like, do we want to get into like the whole details? Is this a spoiler alert?
No, you can get into the whole thing. I was texting Kathleen and Matt like the first half hour, and I'm like, I have no fucking idea what's happening. Like, I am so confused. And then the second half, I was like, oh, I'm like really getting into this. So like, obviously we'll get to this, but like, I was really invested, even though it was only like 5 minutes, in Siobhan and Tom's relationship.
Yeah.
Like, I was like,
God.
tell me fucking more. I need more of this. So I wish this whole episode was about these two. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, it was like
going
very
on?
sexy information for one episode. I'm like, okay.
Like one scene, it's like, oh, possible threesome, okay, and then the next is like, I don't really know if I want to be with you, and I'm just like, what? You know, whole episode about these two.
Oh my god!
So yeah, the
100%.
second half I thought was incredible, and I think also, like, for someone like you who watched the entire series, like the whole episode is probably incredible for you. The first half, because I've never seen the show, I'm like, I think this is just about like rich people, and I want to get on that yacht really bad. But like, besides that, I have no clue what's happening. So you can completely spoil anything, season 1, season 2, because I mean, at this point, we watched the last episode, and most of the people that probably listen to this episode of our podcast have seen the show.
Yeah. So I listened to this podcast called Too Long Didn't Watch, which is a Rolling Stone podcast. And it's this guy, and he brings on celebrities. Okay, so basically what they do is they watch the first episode of a very well-established finished series and the last. So Game of Thrones, Gossip Girl. Oh, it was John Hamm did Gossip Girl was one of them. So it's a really interesting way to, like, they've never seen this, like, juggernaut show that, like, took over. And it's like, there's no time. It's too long. I didn't watch. I'm not going to watch. So they watched the pilot and the series finale. And at the end, he always goes, was that like a good way to watch the show? And they're always like, no, no. But I did that for this. Well, I almost finished the pilot last night. I fell asleep during it. That doesn't have anything to do with how well the pilot was. I was just fucking tired. But it's interesting what you said about Kendall, because I really did see a huge difference. And really what I wanted was just to become familiar with the characters and like see at least where they started. And he starts off like being such a douchebag in that first pilot episode. So, I mean, I carried those thoughts about him into this episode, but he was pretty like well behaved and like taking everything in stride. And
he was very, very docile in the start of the last, and there's a lot that happens why he's like that.
Yeah, very submissive.
There's like a life-changing moment. Yeah, very submissive, docile. I'm just gonna take it. Yes, father, totally.
Yeah,
and
it's kind
like,
of freaky though. Like
it is. He
yeah.
like really loses himself in this series, which is you just. Like it was, he acted that so well. It was so cool to see him just then, like, up to that moment, be the fucking killer, like his dad. Yeah. And like, go.
That was so. I can't wait to deep dive into that.
I love the subtle smile of his father at the end. The
Mm-hmm.
very end, you're just like, oh, I'm proud of my boy. He fucked me over. I'm going to jail, but I'm proud of him.
Yeah.
Wait, like, so was that what was going to happen? They were going to go to jail?
He literally hit Logan, the father, was going to send Kendall as a sacrifice for their company's fuck up, because they, on the cruise ship, one of the execs was acting inappropriately to a female staff and member, and she complained. They hid that complaint. That's why Greg at the very end comes in with the file complaint folder, like a file, if you remember at the court session or press session, he has the file because you learned back in the second episode of the entire thing that like, I actually really love Greg's storyline too. They all have really fun storylines because Greg's just like this innocent goofball who's like seeing all this crazy fucking shit go down with the family. And he's like just a loser. Like, he just like, but he's trying to like become like somebody something.
Right.
Because he has like, then he just ends up going back. If he doesn't, then he has to go back home and be a loser. So he's just like, no, like I want to figure it out. But it's so interesting that I love that he doesn't actually lose himself in that whole thing. You notice, Greg actually stays true to him wanting to just be a genuine nice guy and do the right thing. So he does help Kendall at the end because he has this file that states the claim. So Logan was aware there was a complaint because it was made. And that's why Kendall said, like, my father is too good. Of course he knows everything that's happening in the company. Like that would, I love that he played it up like that. I'm like, of course he knows everything about everyone. So yeah, there's no way he didn't see this. And so, yeah, basically we're going to offer Kendall, though, as the sacrifice.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if it was one of those things where it was like they have to step down from the company. They might do some legal action, but he won't actually go to jail because they're bajillionaires, so they'll get their way out of it somehow. But I didn't realize that he's actually going to go to jail. That even raised the stakes, like.
Right. Well, again, you're absolutely right. It wasn't like a hardcore, like, you're going to get thrown in jail. But they were like, no, like, that's essentially what will happen because we have a price to pay. That means like someone has to go to jail for this, like a Harvey Weinstein kind of situation.
Sure.
Like someone needs to go to jail for this kind of thing. So like, yeah, that was pretty much the underlying sentencing, which is why everyone, that entire last episode is like just a chess game. Like how fucked up was it when they were like sitting at and you know everyone's secrets at this point, like all the little affairs or all the little like what everyone really wants, like, and how they're like kind of playing it like, oh, so you don't know this because you didn't watch the whole thing. But Roy, who is Mr. Kieran Culkin.
Yep.
Love him.
That's why he looks familiar.
Oh my God.
Love him.
The Culkin brothers are some talented motherfuckers.
Yeah,
they
every
really
time he was on the screen, I was like, I just see him and his, obviously him and like his brother look so much alike that I'm like, but he's a great character.
Immediately, I was like, the Dr. Pepper kid or the Pepsi kid who wets the bed from Home Alone. Like, yeah, there it is. There he is. And he fucking kills it too. Yeah, he's such a little prick the whole season. But he has like this thing with Jerry, which is she's like also like a high exec. I don't want to call her a secretary. She definitely has a better position there, but she was like the older woman. Okay. And they have like a thing and it's really funny. So he protects her because someone at one point was like, oh, like, what about Jerry? Like she has every like, and that's why he's like, he steps up and he's like, no, Jerry would not make sense and all of that. And it just, it's really cute in a weird way. Yeah. Like a lot of this is like very like, oh, that's fun, but this is also very strange.
Yeah.
I like that. I like weird kind of.
Yeah, I feel like since we didn't watch, like we were missing a lot of the like cheeky interactions that were happening. But honestly, I was catching a lot of them too. And I was like proud of myself. Like this would be so much better if I actually watch this damn show.
Yeah, I mean, even though we watched like the last episode and like you said, like we're going to obviously spoil stuff. Like I think I might still watch it, especially because there's going to be a season 3 anyway. So it's not, we'll get through that real quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like I think my confusion so much in the first half is really just them going back and forth of like who's going to be the person that gets thrown under the bus and takes the heat. So like for me, I'm like, takes the heat for what? What is happening?
Yeah, we were missing what like happened.
What is the issue here? Mm-hmm. But then the second half is like where they get into other things that happened, I guess, like throughout the series. Like I'm assuming you learn more about Siobhan and Tom throughout season 1 and season 2.
Oh yeah.
Tom's a pussy all the way in the pilot.
She is not nice to Tom. And so like...
Yeah. But she begs that he's not the person that gets thrown, which I guess is like her one good thing to Tom.
I mean, her at that table when they first threw Tom out there, and they're like, it's a really nice guy, but it's obviously Tom. And she's just like, yep. Totally.
Yeah, I know. Like it's just like, oh, like that was like his last straw with her, I think. Because he's like, are you serious? Like,
question. When
but it was funny.
When the series starts, are they married? Because in this episode, they drop like, at our wedding night, you asked for an open marriage. Is that something we already knew?
They get engaged and then married throughout this. It happens pretty quickly too in the first season. I want to say, like, you see Tom's like kind of desperation for her, and meanwhile she's having an affair. There's just like, and he also figures that out like around the wedding, because Greg, again being the honest man he is, sees some sketch stuff and is like, yo, Tom, I think your girl is not being, she's fucking around. So I just think though they're so funny because you can see like I almost at time I'm like, Siobhan, I love, in a way she's still likable because she's kind of like that person you're like, fuck, you're like really schemy and it's like fun to watch, and because you are smart, but you're also like not a great like partner if you like care about those things. So it was just interesting though, like, because Tom he's very like, he's not the brightest bulb in the room. You're like, why does she like him though? And maybe it's just like kind of like he is overall a good guy and maybe can just take her flaws and maybe like, I would be curious if you guys ladies watched it, like, why do you think she even is like super, she's into him and she has him around when they don't seem like at the same.
No, they don't seem like on the same level at all.
Yeah, no. I couldn't analyze her yet. She seems like a very complex human, but it could just be like a sense of comfort and the fact that he wants to now bounce. She's like, oh, fuck. Because it seems like she's been using him as like a whipping boy for forever. But now that he wants to leave, like she actually does love him, but she's just been taking him for granted probably for so long. But
yeah. And that's goofy. Maybe where in season 3 it'd be cool to see like where does that dynamic go? Does he eventually stick around or leaves or what happens? Because I think Tom saw them as like a power couple coming through the ranks, and meanwhile Shiv was like, no, like I want to take over the company, and she has nothing to do with the company. Yeah. Like she doesn't work at all in the company. It is the family business, right? But she's not involved. But when this opportunity arises, she too comes for the position, and she gets close. Like there's like moments where that's the thing. The dad fucks with them so hard. It is unbelievable. The entire time he's just like playing mind games with all the siblings. So there's actually, please do the siblings, because I wrote that down. What are the dynamics between the siblings and the dad? And also, where did that woman go from the pilot? There's a scene where Kendall's like flipping out, being like, that fucking bitch, like we're not giving, like, because he says that he's gonna give her two votes or something, and then Kendall has a freak out. His wife, his second or third wife, one of them. Yeah, he ends up having an affair with someone he ends up doing a business deal with to potentially take over the company. And so they get really close. And then his wife was accepting of it at first because she's just kind of like, I know where my position is in this whole grand scheme. And as long as he doesn't outright disrespect me in any way, I don't care like if he's fucking other people. But I think it hit very interesting, classic, but it hit a point I think where he just like embarrassed her almost, or made her really look bad, where she was like, nope, I'm done. Like, and I can't remember, I'd have to rewatch it again if they actually split ways, but I don't think so. So she might be still around. She's just like mad at him. Okay. We have to reassess that. But the siblings. Yeah. So I'm going to start with the oldest. The oldest one.
Connor.
Yeah, it's probably Connor.
Connor. Yeah, Connor. Connor isn't like really that relevant of a character. He's the oldest one who like went off and did his own thing. He's just loaded because his dad's loaded. So he's always just doing some random bullshit thing that doesn't make him money. And so he goes from funding this 20-something-year-old Broadway play, which that's what you saw in the boat scene. Yeah. And it's just a constant flop. And he's always like, it's just really funny because everyone knows like she's just like sleeping with him to have the money to fund the play. And like I feel kind of bad, but everyone's just like, so the whore here is in the house now. Like, hello. They're not nice to her, but they are, but they're just very like, we know why you're here. Yeah. Like, this is whatever. But that's so funny for Connor to really take their relationship like seriously. Yeah. And be like, no, Dad, I need more money for the press.
Yeah. 100 mil, cool, 100 mil.
I know. And the one note that I took for like that scene just said like, to be rich enough to just throw an iPad overboard and like have zero reaction.
Oh my God, that flip out moment was so perfect.
It was perfect.
Like, so dramatic.
It was so dramatic, and I fucking loved it. I was like, this is the epitome of your relationship.
Yes.
Right here.
And that's what I was trying to figure out. Like, you explained it perfectly of just like what there's, because I was like, is that his wife? Is that his girlfriend? Because you can tell she is like clearly a lot younger than him. Like, is it a sister? Like, who is this person?
Yeah. Also, when you're going through the siblings, just yes or no question, does the dad love them? Because I'm unsure. Like, I could tell he's obviously playing games with them, but it's also the other thing where I feel like they're using him because they're like, what, you're retiring, who you picking? Is it me? Like, it's like, chill. Could you imagine?
Exactly.
Once you mix business and
like
and
money,
family
just
and
mix
money,
with anything.
oh my God. So like the moment where Connor kind of gives himself up, like, I'll do it or something, and they're just like, no, honey, no, thank you, but no, no,
because he's useless. He literally wasn't a part of the company. That was one of the main things, is like, if you weren't really involved with the company, you're not a good enough blood sacrifice. I love how they kept like referring to like that. You're not a good enough blood sacrifice because you really weren't involved with any of the dealings. Like, it doesn't make sense.
Right.
So they were like, unfortunately, you're not that important.
Yeah, you're cute, but no.
You're cute, but no. Like, he obviously would be ideally the best candidate because he is useless to the company in the large sense, but it's like not good enough for, the public's point of view. So it's just funny. Like, the dad, going through them with Connor, I just don't think he really cares. He's just like, as long as he's not making me look bad. Like, he was also, another adventure was him campaigning for a seat in the office. I can't remember what, just something political. I don't think he was trying to be mayor. I think he was trying to be like higher position, like, I don't know, in the Senate or something. Sorry, I'm totally butchering that.
But a big flop on his part didn't go through.
The dad was just like, stop campaiigning.
Oh,
you look like an idiot. You don't know what you're talking about. That's why he was like, that deal. So the dad is just all like, okay, I'll throw some money at the press or something, but you have to stop the campaigning.
Yeah.
Like, we just need to. So I don't think the dad really cares at all about Connor, just as long as he's not giving him a headache and spending too much of his money.
Yep.
That's Connor's pretty irrelevant character, just funny when he comes in.
Yeah.
I think the second oldest then is Kendall. And Kendall kind of starts out as the favorite because he's someone who has really has a high seat in the company, has really helped secure funding, and like, you see him struggling in the beginning, but he's doing a lot. He's actually present. He actually cares. He gives himself to the company, and he wants to do well and show his father that, hey, I'm really doing things, and he really wants that seat. And when you start out watching the season, you're like, yeah, it's no brainer. Kendall should get it. But then you have Roy just under him. Shiv might be actually they're closer in age. Roy, I think, is definitely the youngest.
Is that McCalkin?
Yes, exactly.
Culkin, yeah.
So you see him too, right from the start, being the total opposite of Kendall, just like masturbating in the office and not giving a shit. Like, literally, that's what we see. And like, just being there to, he has a seat, and he disgustingly uses his power just to use it, but doesn't do anything for the company.
That's Roy you're talking about,
sense.
Right?
Right.
So
Roman.
it's Roman. Okay.
Their last name's
Roman.
Roy.
My bad.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah,
So
I said Roy. Roman. Yeah.
So Roman and Kendall, it seems like, obviously Roman's the younger brother, but to me it was like Roman's probably just as smart as Kendall, but since he was the younger brother, he could just fuck off all the time, and Kendall had to be like the kind of the heir because Connor was just kind of irrelevant. So like, he was like the oldest son and had to, it's just like the fucking hierarchy of all siblings. Like, the oldest has to be like prim and proper, and then the younger siblings just absolutely fucks around, even though he's probably just as smart, and like we saw, he got appointed the fucking COO spot. So it's like,
right.
I love that, and I loved them from the pilot. Kieran Culkin is the only thing I knew about the show leading into it. I'm obsessed with all of them. Like, Rory Culkin is from Scream. Yeah, but yeah, go on with the siblings.
Yeah, their relation. No, everything you just analyzed about Roman is definitely true. Like, you see that he isn't actually that dim-witted. It just takes him that transition of, wait, I can have power. Okay, I'm now going to put on my big boy pants and show them who's boss. And like, what I think the dad does. Okay, so then the dad leans into that. And then Shiv comes along, again, nothing to do with it, but she's like, I'm fucking smarter than these guys. Like, fucking A, give me the seat. I'll run it, Dad. And she's like, Dad, like, come on. Like, I'm your girl. I'm your princess. But she doesn't say it like that. But she's kind of like, I'm the one. Like, I know what to, like, I know how to handle this, even though she's not done anything with the company. So she's like, I got this.
So when
she's
she tosses
bright.
her
So
hat
like,
in the ring, does he take that seriously? Is that like a serious offer that he would consider? Or no?
No.
Okay.
No.
Classic.
No. So
again.
she it was always, again, yeah, she's like, I'll, toss herself to do the honorable thing. But really, like, it would make more sense if Tom was put in the ringer over her because
Fucking
he
Tom.
actually
Aw.
Tom was overseeing that division, I think, with Kendall. So that's why they both were really in the hot seat for that.
Tom probably has my favorite quote of the whole episode. Fucking gutted me. The sad I'd be without you would be less than the sad I am when I'm with you. I butchered that, but holy fuck, that is a
my
deep ass
God.
line for the show. I was like, whoa.
They cut deep. I know. There's like some really good moments. And like, so I think what ends up you start to notice too, and you get really frustrated, is like amongst those siblings, like I think he had a sweeter spot for Kendall because Kendall was like running everything. But at the same time, not, because he always tempts him with the position and then pulls back. And I think the reason the pullback happened is he's like thinking like this boy's too soft the whole time. Like he's just too soft. I love him to death, but he's too soft. He can't do it. And so that's why when, Roy starts coming at it, I think he liked their aggressive assertiveness to kind of bring the others down in a fucked up way. And that's what you're watching the whole time, this fucked up dynamic of, that inside family circle. Like you're really gonna, Kendall should obviously get the position, guys, but it's this power dynamic. The dad kind of gets off on that, and not like a sexual way, just like, this is respect for me.
Yeah.
Like I respect you more. And so I think it gets to that. That's what I think that's his whole dilemma the entire 2 seasons is I don't think anyone has the guts to like really be an asshole and fuck someone over that you care about for business deals or for whatever. Like that's what I think in his mind, being that kind of killer, that's the attribute you need to be the head of this kind of company in his eyes. And so I think that's why he's like kind of always like going back and forth, because he does it with literally every sibling, except for freaking Connor. Oh, Connor, I should write your name down.
So
Connor.
do you think that Logan was basically setting up the situation? Because Logan offers himself up, right? He says, I'll take the fall. It's got to be me. It's my company, right? I'm at the top, whatever. And then he has that conversation with Kendall, basically being like, you're not a killer. Do you think that was like, here's your chance, be a fucking killer, the sink or swim, or he was not expecting it?
He was 100% not expecting it.
Damn. Okay.
Yeah, so that makes it even more
100% not.
iconic.
Yeah. Classic.
Yep.
That's
No,
awesome.
that's why I get an adrenaline rush, like even rewatching it. Me and my boyfriend sat down and rewatched it together before we got on, and I totally still like got such an adrenaline rush because he does not see it coming.
Yeah.
And you're just like, oh shit. It's so good. That's why it's so good, because there's a moment throughout, I think it's season 2 after the wedding, like you notice at season 1, Kendall has issues with drug use and alcohol use. And it really gets bad because the dad takes away the position. All of a sudden says, I'm not stepping down. And he does it in a very not cute way. It's not cute. It really hurts Kendall. So he goes back to his drinking and drug use, and like it gets so out of hand that there's a really bad accident. I don't want to spoil everything, and can't remember exactly perfectly, but someone dies. And the dad covers it.
Damn.
Kendall is indebted back to his dad.
That's another
That's when he
classic with the
becomes
rich family.
very docile and very just like, okay, dad, whatever you want. Like you notice that in the very beginning too of the last season. He's like, okay, dad. He's no longer that asshole prick kind of guy douchebag that you see at season 1.
Yeah.
So that's the whole journey there. He gets really fucked up, and then he becomes the most like lifeless character where you're like, what is wrong with you, Kendall? Stop taking everything in the ass. But he's just not there anymore. And he's just dealing with this guilt and grief because he is a good guy at the deep down. He's not like some asshole that can kill someone and be like, okay, cool. And it's an accident. Like he's not a murderer. Yeah. But he feels, as it is his fault ultimately. And it's like a crazy car accident. I think at the end, that's why you don't see it coming at all, because for so long in season 2, he's like that. And you just want to go crazy. You're like, Kendall, you're so depressing.
Yeah. He was pretty like deadpan this entire episode, like no emotion, just going through.
You get a little bit spark, and that's another key indicator with the girl, because she starts to spark back some of his like life, because he lost his last girlfriend because of the business and everything, like working those crazy hours. He already lost his first love because he wanted to marry her, like actually, settle down with this woman. And she was like, nope. So that was a loss, right? And then he loses like everything. And then finally he finds someone else that he really connects with. And it's like almost that when his dad was like, I don't know about her. He's like, is he going to like lose another person he loves because of the company? And again, lose himself in all of this. I think those are questions that I think arise and that last like 10 minutes of him like considering everything. I think that happened all in that one conversation when he had it with his father was about him taking the blame and also this chick, and I think that must have hit a nerve too. Like,
big time.
oh, like dad, like she's good. Like she totally gets the whole family dynamic and what we're about. And she's not going to do something stupid. But I think he was just like starting to get a little fed up. And I know I wish I could remember the exact line. There was probably something else I think triggering like underneath that if you were like, ooh, but I think it was the killer line. Literally when his dad last said like,
you're not a killer.
You need to be you're not a killer. And then Kendall was like, okay.
Yeah, he took it in stride, baby, and he flipped it.
He's like, I'll show you.
Reversed it, baby.
Yes.
Also, I just love that there's a Carolina Reporter character person. So there's a girl that has my name. So it's cute. I love that.
Yeah.
So I love to be featured in the whole season.
This is your guest appearance on this episode.
My guest appearance. Exactly, guys. Totally. That's me. Absolutely.
So I really enjoyed the scene with Siobhan, Kieran Culkin's character, which I keep forgetting his name, Roman, and Kendall, when they're kind of just shitting on each other and they're really making fun of Roman, just be like, oh, what you do, like whatever. So where was Roman coming from? Was he like held captive?
Yes.
So
yeah, because I was confused for that like whole thing too. I mean, I told you guys I was confused the whole first
hour. To me, it was like he was being held for ransom and also doing a business deal at the same time.
Yeah, no, that's exactly it. Like not ransom, but I think they were in Turkey or something, and they were trying to secure more funding, like privately, is what I remember. They were saying, they wanted to do if they could secure a large private investor fund. I'm so smart with all of this investor shit, but like get it to stay private. Then they wouldn't publicly have to announce anything because then they got all the funds they need to carry on business. Right? We don't need to even address. But if they have to keep their company public, then that's where they were going to be fucked over still and have to do a blood sacrifice. So that's why they were so trying to secure that private funding. And even in the 10th episode, you probably were confused by this too. Kendall goes back to an old business partner / friend with the dad on the, if you remember, they go on a boat ride real quick. Yeah, that guy fucks Kendall over in the first season, and it's just like, again, like Kendall's not a killer, so he gets fucked over by people that are, friends or whatever. He's like, we had a fucking deal, what happened? And business is business, I don't care. So it's just circling back. Yes, so Roman's in Turkey and they're like ready to meet the investors, and all of a sudden the place gets shut down. Gunmen come in, like everyone's armed with these giant machine guns, and like they're fucking scared. And I don't really know what the whole ordeal or purpose of that, but it was a very scary moment for all of them because they didn't know if they were going to be held at gunpoint to like make a deal or like, no, we need the contract to say that. Like, I don't know if that was their whole scare tactic too. And I'm probably missing something out of that. But basically, they end up. That's good.
I just did. I had no idea where he was coming from. I'm like, this man has been through something.
He was. It was a scary moment for him and Frank and the other old chap who is the partner. I just love that he just loves shitting on like Frank and the other guy too, the older partners. They're like, yeah, just throw Frank in. Like, who cares? And Frank's like, yeah, fuck off. Thank you.
Well, those conversations at that table were so good. I was so invested at that point. First of all, the show, even though I saw half the pilot, so I guess I had seen it before technically, but it felt familiar and it was visually pleasing. Like I felt invested, like I was familiar with the characters, even though I have no idea what was going on. So they do a very good job. And second of all, I just wanted to bring up, at first I was like, is this a documentary style? Because they do that zoom in.
Yeah.
I noticed that the first time.
Yeah.
And at first, I did not like it for a second. And then I was like, oh, this is kind of like a cleaner version of The Office.
Yeah, exactly.
Except it's dramedy, like not just comedy. And it actually started to really work because there are those comedic zoom shots in the dramatic shots where you're like, oh shit, okay.
Yeah.
Like, I get it. I see that look. And I'm like, I get
Yeah,
it.
they don't ever have talking heads, right? Like, no cut to the.
No.
Okay, good. Good. All right.
But also, can we just say, like, another reason why I love the show, the fucking soundtrack, that opening track, what do you call it? The credit
theme?
opening title?
They're-
The
yeah,
theme.
the
opening-
The theme
yeah.
song.
Yeah.
Theme song.
Oh, I love the piano with the not pop, but like a rap beat, whatever you want to call it, underneath. So fucking good. I'm like, it's just everything.
You gotta have a good theme.
Oh,
I do want to talk about. I want to talk about Greg really quick, only because I just
I
thought he
love
was
Greg.
so good. So for backstory for Joel, in the pilot episode, Greg is like elsewhere. His storyline is that he is getting trained. So Roy Co or whatever is like in hospitality. There's like theme parks and shit. So you see him get really high, and then he goes into a training. And then he puts on like a costume to walk around the parks, right? And then some kids are like beating him up almost, and he yaks in the head of this costume, and he gets fired. And his mom, who is Logan's niece, I guess, is like,
yeah.
did you even think to tell them who you are? Because he's like a
Into the-
Roy
yeah, he's
or
in
whatever.
the family, yeah.
And so it's Logan in the pilot. It's Logan's birthday, so that she sends him there. And so that's all I knew because I only watched half the pilot. So then I turn on season 2, episode 10, and it's like previously on, and he's like all done up in his suit with his hair done, and he's on doing a testimony. I'm like, wait a second, there's no way he's a human. And then he's the goofiest when it opens. It's so funny. And I loved when he just kept being like, I should have like had a tagline like, no woman, no cry. No woman, no cry.
Lie. He just was always like, I object, or like he was trying to be so proper
Oh
about
my
like
God.
the legal way to say something.
Yeah.
Like,
Incredible.
You know, it was so amazing. That court scene with him was everything. But no woman, no cry. Yes,
Yeah.
that was the best part. He's like, I wish I said that.
Yeah, they're like, no, you're fine.
Yeah.
It's okay.
I know. I
I
think Logan
recognized him
doesn't
from
he-
like Disney, by the way, the actor. Like, I had a huge
Yeah,
crush on
he
him when I
looked.
was like
What's he
16.
from? What's he from?
I tried to look it up, and
We both
I
grabbed
don't
our
even
phones.
remember the show because Nicholas Braun is the character, y'all.
Oh,
in case any of you
wait.
are.
Yeah.
It
Oh,
is?
Perks of a Wallflower.
Oh yes.
Wait a
Yeah.
second.
He was in Perks of Being a Wallflower.
Okay, yeah,
I've
he
never
was-
seen that. He was in the Princess Protection Program.
Oh, he's in Sky High, y'all. Like,
Oh, that's what we know
that's
him
it.
from.
That's
First of
what
all,
we know.
Yeah.
I fucking
Did not
loved.
age.
I loved Sky High. I loved that movie.
Oh my God, he's Ponytail Derek in Perks of Being a Wallflower. That might be what I know him from. I've seen that movie 80 times.
Yeah, I love Nicholas Braun, and he's always playing the same fucking character.
Yeah.
I think, like, you know, kind of a dweeb, but you like
Yeah.
love him because he's so sweet and
9
just
foot tall goof.
cute.
He's kind of in a
Yeah.
lot. I mean, most of it I haven't heard of, but he's been
Low
in-
key's popping, but like low key. But
hilarious.
yes, oh my God, he gets a transformation because, you know, he sees how this family is operating and he becomes Tom's bitch. Tom, who like literally, you know, wants all the power in the world too, wants the seat as well, or, you know, tries to get Shiv to give him the seat, but Shiv's low key like, I'm getting the seat. You know, Tom's like, oh, here's my chance to make someone my bitch for once. I don't have to be sucking dick for like any one night right now. Like, you know, let's like do a reversal and have have Greg suck my dick for once.
Right.
And so he really kind of abuses Greg like in the beginning. It's like stupid. But you're invested to see how Greg like reacts to everything and how Greg does transform. But like I said, I think ultimately Greg stays to being the honest, truthful man that he is. And because he gets uncomfortable with some of, like he was supposed to burn that file and Tom gave him that file. And that's why Tom was like also in deep shit about the whole cruise ordeal because that was his division and he had access to those complaint files. And he's like, Greg, I'm going to need you to do a favor for me on Thanksgiving Day. I need you to go down to the office and like find this file, burn it. And that's it. No question. It's fine. And Greg's like, are you sure that's like, I'm supposed to do that? Like, are you sure? It's so good, guys. It's
yeah,
so
I
good.
like that because I didn't know that. You mentioned it earlier and briefly, but that is good. I love that about Greg. Good for him.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Just adorable. Such a dweeb the whole time.
Big time.
But he tries to act all tough, and you're like, oh, baby.
Yeah.
Baby. So who's your
Oh,
favorite
baby.
sibling if you had to choose?
Fuck. I mean, like Roman is a lot of fun. He's really fun, but I like Shiv too a lot.
Mhm.
So it's just hard.
I liked Roman, like for sure has like you can tell like he's a dickhead, but I enjoyed his character at least in this episode. That's all I've ever seen. But
He's a pretty tamed dickhead. I feel like, and I have not seen the show, but I would assume that he's a little crazier in other episodes.
Oh, he's crazier in the beginning.
Yeah,
for sure.
Right.
For sure. And I did not like I liked him, but I didn't like him. I was like,
Yeah.
okay, like, because I was feeling for Kendall. And like ultimately, like I hope, the journey continues with Kendall starting to gain the reins. So ultimately, of course, I love him. But I think Rowan would be fun because maybe him and Jerry could have like, evolved their relationship since it's so obscure because they're so weird. Like I don't know. They have like phone sex or something like that, equivalent to that. It's just funny. Like he's such a character. And then, I mean, Shiv is just, like I said, really smart and with it. And like, she's just really interesting as well. So I would say between those two.
Yeah, I might watch this. I mean, I watch every show, but normally I've been pretty strict on being like, I will watch the show or no, I don't need to. But this is fun. This is like takes you completely out of our fucking reality. I'll tell you that. Because like it's really fun watching people just be bajillionaires. And it's like, that's not a life I recognize. So I'll watch the show.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. I love it. And I mean, you see a bit of New York. I miss New York. So like I'm there and I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
I miss this fancy life that I don't have. That's cute though. Like I love that.
Yeah.
Like, oh, it's so fun. It takes you out of it. And just literally, it's just so absurd. The family drama and like where it goes and how they treat each other at the end of it all is so absurd. And that's what makes it so interesting to watch because you're just seeing the power plays, the scheming, and then the people who are truthful, like Kendall and
Connor.
Greg. Like Greg.
Greg.
Connor's just what, like I said,
Yeah.
like
yeah.
Connor doesn't need a spinoff.
No.
He's funny for when he comes in and does something. You're
Connor
like, okay.
gives it's Logan's birthday in the pilot, and Connor gives him like yeast to make bread, and he's literally Logan takes it and is like, I love it. Like, what the fuck is it? Like, and the siblings are around just like laughing. He's like, I just wanted to give you something that you could make something out of, like trying to be like nice and helpful. Like, I don't know what he was trying to do, but it just landed so
like more
flat.
sentimental
It's such a
or
joke,
something. Yeah, it was such a joke. And they're like, no.
Yeah.
Like you yourself the whole time are trying to decide who you should really have it and what the father is fucking thinking. Because I've been cursing like a lot. Is that cool?
fuck,
No,
yeah.
you're fine. Yeah.
Okay, cool. And that's another thing. They say fuck off the entire time, and I love it. And they're just like, yeah, the whole time you're like, what is the dad thinking? Who is he really going to go with? And that's just, I enjoy like trying to solve things like that when I'm watching something. And I love a good play on words. I love a good, like, strategic attack on the words. So that's, so when if you enjoy
Nice.
that kind of power play, like word game dynamic, it's really fun. You're like you're like, oh, you just nailed it, you just killed it. But you see like Kendall, for example, was really sloppy. Like you just calling someone an asshole and to suck my dick and take this deal, that doesn't always work, like, and it's interesting to see how like some people don't give into the Roy family bullshit of no, just suck my dick and take this deal, and it's that's where you're like, guys, we need a different strategy here, and how it's interesting to how they start to form those alliances, and like, it's very crude. It's not like a moral compass type show, but it's fun. Yeah. That's why we watch stuff.
Of course.
That's the drama there, the tea there.
Yeah, I'm excited to watch this now.
Yeah. So you're gonna watch it?
Yeah, I'm going.
Nice.
Oh,
That's a win for you.
won.
Because she doesn't always choose. She barely ever watches the shows we cover on this. So that was a big win for you, Carolina.
And I usually say I'm going to, and then I don't. And Luke, if you're listening, fuck you.
Yeah, fuck you, Luke.
Because I will
Fuck
never
you, Luke.
watch
I don't
The
even
Magicians
know you, but fuck
ever.
you.
Fuck you, Luke.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's like our slogan for this show.
Yeah, fuck you, Luke.
I'm so honored and happy because I think if you haven't seen the show, you need to because it's just too good. It's one of those I think that kind of got like brushed over a little bit, but anyone who's seen it raves about it. Like there's not someone who's like, yeah, I wasn't sure about it. Like no one's like that. It's like, yeah, this is the fucking show.
Yeah, and I mean, in the beginning, I was texting them like, "Is this actually a good show?" Because I have no idea what's happening. And then at the end, I was like, "Yep, I'm watching this show."
Yeah.
Like I need more because I tried. So like the first half hour, I was like, "Fuck, I'm not going to be able to talk about this." Like Kathleen's going to be mad. I'm going to be silent. So I paused it and I like looked up like season 2 finale recap.
And you read the first half?
Well, I read like the first 3 sentences and I'm like, no, this is confusing me more because they were using the term killer and I'm like, someone's dying. Like who, what do you mean? Like killer.
Yeah.
Like, and it was basically like the first 3 sentences were just like, Kendall and Logan's relationship has always been rocky from season 1 and season 2. And like, they never had that like close, like father-son bond. And I'm like, who the fuck is Kendall? So I'm like,
She's got so many tabs open.
I'm
She's like IMDb.
I can't. Yeah, so I'm like, I just have to
starting a family diagram. Like,
right.
like,
so then
who.
I finally just like I exit out of it and I'm like, let me just finish the episode and then like things obviously started making sense. I did still ask Kathleen if someone was going to die because of the term killer. Like I was like, is someone getting murdered or am I just like being an idiot? And she was like, no, it's just like who's going to like take the like
who's going to take over? No, totally. That's why when Matt was like, yeah, they haven't watched the show, and I'm like, ooh, do we really want to do this then?
Well,
like because it's the whole last episode, as you saw, that first half is just these little jabs at each other, and if you don't know the nuances behind the different relationships, of course it's confusing, but if you do watch it, it's fucking hilarious and you're like, it's enjoyable. So yeah, go back and watch it because then that even last scene, like I said, is literally that last fucking moment is everything.
And
everything
honestly,
you want.
like, so this is the first time we've ever done like a finale episode. And I kind of think it's better because like, if you think about like pilots, like a lot of the time they're like, okay, like some shows have like fire pilots, but some are like you're slowly getting into it, so you're
getting
like,
into
okay, like I don't know if I'll watch this or not.
Yeah.
Whereas like a finale always has
Brings
like a
the heat.
fucking crazy ending where you're like, fuck, like I want to know what this is. So it was like a good thing. And when Matt asked us that, I was like, yeah, do it because we're gonna have so many questions and like we'll be able to like talk, even
Challenge
though we don't know
accepted.
what's going on. Like we're gonna be able to talk about it. So it works out.
I love it. I love it. No, I'm so glad. And what you bring up is absolutely true. You can really talk about is the arc of everyone, you know? So it totally makes sense why the last season's more fun because you're like, or episode is like fun because you're like, okay, there's a trajectory here. And this is the resolution. We all love a good little solid resolve, right? Or do we? I'm someone who can like teeter on the like, what just happened here? But I mean, I think when we get that little bump, we're like, oh, okay, bravo, we got there. But I will say, the first episode still like kicks ass.
Yeah, I agree. I was fighting to stay up to watch it because I was fucking exhausted, and I was like, I really want to do this.
It's a long episode.
I was like, I'll watch it tomorrow morning. I'll finish it tomorrow morning, and I my work was just fucking nuts today, and I only had time to watch the actual episode we were covering. So I was like, R.I.P. second half of that pilot, and who knows if I'll ever get to it. But yeah, I will say my last comments are we haven't talked about it, this specific scene. So the devastating scene of them on the beach, right? Siobhan and Tom. And then they come back and Tom just goes straight up to Logan, steals his chicken. And it was just like, it's crazy, and Logan's like, the fuck are you doing, Tom? And he just eats it, puts it down. He's like, thanks. But it's more Siobhan's face as she's watching him do it. I feel like she was like, honestly, like, into it. Was like, what is he doing? Like, she was so confused, but also she's like, okay, like, what the fuck is going on? And I like in the next scene, Logan goes up to her and is like, what the fuck? And she's like, I don't know. I think this pressure is getting to everybody. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, he was like, what the fuck was that?
Yeah, it was just delivered perfectly from all parties. And I was like, because it goes from that like devastating scene transitioning straight into a goofy one. And I love when shows do that. It's just like really toying with your
and
emotions.
I think, like, doesn't he say, like, I'm going to talk to Logan? So, like, you think he's going to say something, like, beneficial?
About
like,
Chip.
like, something's
or to
going
protect
down.
himself.
Yeah,
protect
exactly.
himself.
Like, or like we're getting divorced. Like, you think he's gonna like drop some sort of fucking bomb, and then he just like eats the chicken and leaves.
Yeah.
And he's just like, exactly, like, thanks.
I
And
also
like,
didn't know what he was eating. I was like, is that chicken? I'm so confused.
yeah, I didn't know what I thought it was actually like a puff.
Yes,
like
me too. I was like, I was really trying.
yeah, like I thought it was like
I was like, thank you for clarifying. He
like a
literally said
crab
chicken.
rangoon. Like I thought it was a crab rangoon.
So specific.
That's like the kind of puff I'm talking
Sure.
about, where it's like pie-like on the outside, but like some
Wow,
gooey.
talk dirty to me.
I know. But then he was like, my chicken, and I'm like, your what? That was your crab rangoon. Rich people don't eat chicken. They
Crab
eat
rangoon
crab
doesn't
rangoon.
roll off the tongue like chicken does.
Yeah, can you imagine?
He
He's like,
improv'd it.
I just ate your dad's crab rangoon.
Yeah, that's not bad.
I love that you guys remembered that moment. I forgot about that, and it's such a great one. I feel like that's his way of pushing power on them, and in his own way. Like, no, like I'm here. Like, I don't fuck with me too. Like, kind of like I feel like that was his way to retaliate. But he's still chicken shit to like actually do and say anything. Still, like it's still Tom. Like he's not actually gonna do anything because he's not a killer. I mean, he teeters, but he's not like gonna.
Right.
He doesn't. That's the best he can do.
Like weird flex, but all right.
Like
Love it.
exactly. That's exactly it. Weird flex, but okay.
That was like Tom's way of showing he's a killer.
Yeah.
It's like, I'll just go up and eat your fucking chicken wing and walk away.
That would shake me to my core if somebody did that to me. It's a power move. It is a weird one, but it is
a weird one, but it is. It's for sure. Yeah. Nobody be touching my food while I'm eating it. Like French fries.
That's
Are
an
you
assault.
kidding?
Oh my God. Like, real quick. That is
shit.
like my biggest fucking pet peeve. Like, when you're eating and like, I'm sorry that I got a fucking sandwich with fries and you got a salad. If you start leaning over and like picking at my fries, I'll fucking chop your fingers off.
I wouldn't get offended if you did that to me.
I wouldn't do that to you. I would say, can I have a French fry?
Okay.
Exactly.
Like, I would
always
not
ask.
just start picking at your plate.
Neither would I. But
You
I
would. You would
understand
be
that-
like, can I have some fries? And I'd be like,
Yeah.
absolutely. I literally will feed them to you because I love you so much.
Uh-huh.
But like when like a random, like I fucking hate that. I think that's so rude.
Yeah.
Get your dirty ass fingers off my plate unless I say you can.
Okay. Now this is my weird thing. Like, I'm only working under the assumption that I have the fries. Okay. It's like I always am the one who gets the fucking salad. I don't order fries. So what if I do? I'm like, please take them or I will eat all of them.
Yeah.
Type of attitude. So I mean, I guess if someone's just leaning across being like, take them, you're like, all right, bitch.
Yeah, you're like,
chill.
you better stop. I know. I need to like do better with like sometimes I'll get like a good like, you know, there's some like good sandwiches and there's some bad ones. Like there's like real greasy sandwiches, or you could get like a Capri.
Nice.
You know? And they're like,
look at her,
right?
Julie. Cuisine of the world.
So like then they're like, oh, it comes with chips. Is that okay? And I cannot say yes. I'm like, do you have fries?
Oh, right.
Like, why
Well, if you're
can't
gonna
I
eat
just
chips,
say,
you might as well eat fucking French fries.
I mean,
because
I
it's
don't
all
know.
the same and
if
fries
you're
are better.
having a burger, just have the fucking fries. You're already having the burger. Like, I'm just like, just enjoy yourself. At
Yeah.
this
True.
point, you know, like
I'm just like,
you know,
why
save
can't
the
I
salad
ever
for
just take
tomorrow.
the chips? Like, I don't get me. I don't like, yeah, charge me
Because you want fries
$7
better.
more for fucking French fries.
No, fries are better than chips definitively.
100%.
100%.
They're a big, chips are like a big substitute with like wraps. And I'm a big, I mean, you know, I like my wraps.
Yeah, me too.
And I like, they're like chip, like,
I actually
no.
don't mind chips with a wrap because I think that's like, I don't know. We don't have to get into this.
I know. How did we get here?
Well, it's respect.
It is a respect thing.
That's actually a great point, like a respect thing. So, like, Tom might have been like, this is the way I'll disrespect your fucking
And
dad.
that's exactly what he did.
Yeah, like, I'll
You're
fucking
right.
disrespect his ass real quick. Give me the chicken.
He didn't eat a fry. He ate a main thing of that plate too.
The
Like,
way
could you
he
imagine?
ate it, the way he ate it, he just just like, nah, 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 like
Yeah.
really deliberate in his face. And you're
That's
like,
why I thought it was like a fucking cream puff. He like ate the outside.
Yeah.
Like, was it a boneless wing?
No, he was eating around the bone. I'm pretty sure he had it like.
I need to rewatch the scene.
play the clip back.
Play
Matt.
the clip, please.
Play the Matt.
It was more of like an Uncrustable. Like,
Holy shit, this is really evolving.
Logan was eating an Uncrustable.
It's like the fucking cock ate my Uncrustable.
But yeah, he ate it like a crazy person, and
He
God.
did. It was
It's good. I'm so happy you brought
Yeah,
that up.
no, it was
I
a fave
forgot
for me.
about it, and then you said it, and I was like, "Fuck yeah, that
I
happened."
laughed out loud
Yeah.
because just the transition from that sad moment. I'm typing the fucking quote, and then all of a sudden he does that, and I'm like, what the fuck is
And
this
like
man
pure
doing?
eye contact the whole time. Like that is like really like imagine you having fries and someone just looking you in the eye and just be like,
You have to be that angry. Like he was that like,
Yeah.
I'm going to make sure you know what I'm doing. Like I'm not just stealing a piece of chicken or fry. Like I'm looking you in the eye.
Fry.
I'm committing the crime. Fuck you. I'm eating
I'm
it.
hurting you. Yes.
I'm hurting you. I love it. I love it. It's like literally I'm hurting you. And Logan being Logan is like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing?
He was literally like, what the fuck was that? What is
He
happening?
just snaps his fingers like, chef.
That's the constant humor you're getting throughout the whole episode. It's just everyone has their own way of like trying to prove themselves or like obtain like respect or power. They're just doing these little jabs at each other, and it's just hilarious. You're just like, because it gets so intense, like you said, and I love that there's always like that comedic snap where you're like, okay, you're ridiculous.
Yeah.
It is really good. This conversation definitely convinced me to watch it.
I
I'll
know when
report
you
back.
were like, I'll revisit the season, the pilot, and I don't even know if I'll revisit. I'm like,
well, that was
bitch, you're
before.
gonna fucking.
That was like before I even watched the
I was like,
series.
you're
man.
totally gonna revisit it. Don't lie.
Yeah, and I mean it's so low commitment. 2 seasons, 10 episodes each. Come on.
I mean, that's how you
Oh,
sold me on The
totally.
Wilds. Like, if The Wilds had like 5 seasons, I wouldn't have watched it yet.
Yeah,
I love the dynamic between you two. It's very entertaining.
No, because
you guys clearly love and respect each other.
I
It's just-
Snapchatted her
it's
that I
really
was
funny.
watching it, and she was like, "Oh my god, text me the whole time you're watching." So I was, and like usually I will back her up and be like, "You're right, like you couldn't have responded to that," but I wasn't saying anything.
no,
that
this
would
is true.
spoil.
I've been stressed at work.
She just wasn't answering, so I just kept talking. Like I'd be like, blah, blah, blah.
She said, "I'm watching The Wilds." I said, "Ooh, text me," and she goes, "Why you won't answer?" I said, "I still read them."
Like I basically told you like it hurts, and you were like, I still read them. So I'm like she gets
I'm
it.
eating her chicken.
Yeah, you're
Every
eating
time
my
I
chicken.
ignore her, I'm fucking
I'm
stealing
like,
a fry.
I basically like confess that bothers me, and you're like, no, it's fine. I still read it, and then for some reason in my head, I was like, okay, it's fine. Like, the best thing now is like that you can like react to text. So like when that happens, I'll emphasize what I previously said, just so that I can be like,
Yes, that's the key. I do that
Hello?
on my girl chats. I'm like, hello?
Yeah.
No, I actually am not that.
Needy.
But that is a good tool.
I am
I'm
very,
not that needy.
I am very fucking needy. I do it to Kenny all the
I
time.
am too, because if you didn't
Like, you
answer
there?
me, I would get annoyed at you. So what a weird thing. I don't mean it. I love you to death.
Yeah, whatever.
I love you so
Oh,
much,
girls,
sister.
here we are.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Just emphasizing texts and talking about our fries.
Yeah,
Like
oh,
it's
God.
it's
It
life
always
or
comes
death.
back to the French fries.
It
doesn't
really
it?
does.
Wow.
It
really
does.
Very true. So, any last thoughts on Succession?
I think we did good. I really feel you ladies will enjoy it. And if not, you could tell me to fuck off. I wouldn't take it personally, but I truly feel like if my life depended on it, you guys would enjoy it.
Before we wrap up, tell us about your podcast.
Yeah, pitch that podcast, girl.
Oh, yes. The Femme Regard podcast, y'all. Hey, Femme. That's how we always start. No, the Femme community, the Femme Regard podcast is for independent filmmakers. We take them on a journey through our production experiences, but more often than not, we bring on various industry entertainment type guests from all different departments. I mean, we had an entertainment lawyer this season to an acting coach to we have always producers, directors, cinematographers coming on. And it's really inspiring to hear their journeys because a lot of them are like now like established and working. And it's so cool to really hear that fresh insight on how they just got to that next step and how they got their film finally out because the industry is ever evolving. And I think when I mean, I'd love to have some celebs, come on and all of that, but I think it's really important to hear how they just got there,
Yeah.
And then we're really big on empowering women in the industry. And so we do highlight a lot of female guests and talk about like women in film and that world. We spill the tea a lot with our guests on their experiences and how we can do better, and we certainly have a great response from our male pals in the industry. So no, everyone, it's just a lot of love, and it's really, I hope it's educational. And if not, like Tess and I are just doing weird accents and being, our fun selves as well. So I love that you guys have that dynamic, and like Tess and I have our own, marriage in our own way. So it's a lot of fun.
Yeah. I mean, the episode I listened to is great. I'm sure like all the different people in the biz that you're interviewing. I mean,
God.
anyone listening who wants to get, I mean, it's not all about, okay, this person's a fucking star and we're interviewing the star of this. It's like so many different aspects of the industry, and you're touching on all that. So it's good to hear it started from the bottom.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now exactly. A lot of cool pop and independent filmmakers on the gram. Like everyone starts to like connect with each other. So our guests too, they can start to follow the works and really be inspired and follow everyone's journeys. I think that's also become like a goal of ours, is for everyone to start to get connected with all these independent filmmakers, because in a way it's so funny. You're like, oh, like it seems like the community is so big, but then you start to realize, no, everyone does start to kind of know each other, get familiar with each other's work. And we found out like 2 of our guests worked with each other. We didn't know till after we recorded, and we're like, oh shit, you were on that project? That's so cool.
Such a small world.
Yep.
Such a small world. Yeah.
Well, that's amazing. Everyone go check that out.
Go check
Femme
it
Regards
out.
Thanks,
podcast.
Yes.
Femme.
Yay.
And thank you
Oh my
so
God, this
much.
was so fun.
Yeah,
joining
thank you
us.
for
This
coming.
was so
Yes.
fun.
I love
Sorry,
this.
we got a
This
little
felt like
off
girling
topic.
out. This was like really good. I loved it.
Yeah. Matt should be
Oh my
glad
God,
that he wasn't
yay.
able to watch it. He would have just girl
We would've
powered
kicked
his
him out.
ass.
Well, Carolina, thank you so much
Yes,
for joining.
thank you.
We appreciate it. We'll talk to you soon.
Yes, keep me posted on everything,
Yeah.
girls, and I'll blast anything out you send my way. So
Awesome.
let me know.
Perfect.
Thank you, girls.
Thank
See
you.
ya.
Bye.
Bye.
You're listening to the Geekscape Network. You're listening to the Geekscape Network.